Hi viewers, welcome to our new video. What if I told you a simple dime, yes, a tiny Roosevelt dime, could be hiding life-changing money? Sounds impossible, right? But all over the internet, collectors are whispering about Roosevelt dimes rumored to be worth thousands, even millions of dollars. Some say these coins are still out there, hiding in collections, jars, and old wallets, unnoticed for decades. And today, I'm holding 5 different Roosevelt dimes that many people would spend without a second thought. But should they? In this video, we're going to uncover the truth behind the million-dollar rumors, one coin at a time. I'll show you 5 Roosevelt dimes that collectors pay serious attention to, explain what makes them rare, and reveal how much each one can actually be worth. Some are common, some are surprisingly valuable, and one of them might completely change how you look at dimes forever. So don't blink, don't skip, and definitely watch till the very end, because the real value of these coins isn't always obvious, and the most shocking reveal might come from the coin you expect the least. Let's start with our first coin. People don't usually expect a dime to change their life. It's the smallest US coin most people ignore, toss into jars, or spend without a second thought. But then the rumors start. Whispers online. Sensational headlines. This dime sold for $1 million. Check your pocket change now. And suddenly, one simple coin, the 1994 Roosevelt dime, is being talked about like a hidden treasure. Could this ordinary-looking piece of metal actually be worth a fortune? Or is this just another story built on exaggeration and hope? Stay with me till the very end, because before we reveal the truth behind the million-dollar claims, we're going to uncover every possible value this coin can truly reach. At first glance, the design doesn't scream rarity. On the front of the coin, we see the familiar left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a president whose legacy shaped modern America. Along the rim is the word liberty, strong and confident, a reminder of the freedoms the country stands on. Just beside Roosevelt's face appears the phrase "In God We Trust," a motto that adds emotional weight and historical depth to the coin. Below that sits the year 1994, followed by a small but important letter, P, meaning this dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. It's subtle, easy to miss, and yet crucial when determining value. Turn the coin over and the design tells another story. A torch stands tall in the center, representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch symbolizing peace and an oak branch representing strength. Together, they quietly communicate the ideals of a nation. Around the edges, the words United States of America and one dime frame the design, with E pluribus unum tying everything together. It's clean, it's balanced, and it looks almost exactly like millions of other dimes, because in 1994, millions upon millions were made. The Roosevelt dime itself has been part of American life since 1946, created shortly after Roosevelt's death as a tribute to his leadership during some of the nation's hardest years. By the time 1994 rolled around, the dime was no longer made of silver. Instead, it was struck in a copper core clad with nickel, meaning there is no precious metal value hidden inside. That fact alone causes many collectors to dismiss it instantly. But history has proven something important. Metal value doesn't always decide collector value. Mistakes, condition, and rarity do. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where curiosity turns into obsession. A circulated 1994 Roosevelt dime, one that's been used, handled, and shows wear, is typically worth exactly 10 cents, sometimes stretching to 15 or 25 cents if someone just needs the date for a collection. In uncirculated condition, where the coin has no wear and still holds its original mint luster, values rise to about $1 to $3. That doesn't sound exciting yet, but this is only the beginning. When grading enters the picture, values start climbing. A professionally graded MS-64 dime can sell for around $3 to $5. MS-65 examples often reach $6 to $10. At MS-66, prices can jump to $12 to $20. And in rare cases where a 1994 dime survives in near-perfect condition at MS-67 or higher, collectors have paid $30, $40, sometimes even more. That's hundreds of times face value for a coin most people ignore. But the real adrenaline rush comes from mint errors, the accidents that were never supposed to leave the mint. A noticeable off-center strike, where the design is shifted, can sell for $50 to $150, depending on how dramatic it looks. A broad strike error, where the coin spreads wider than normal, can bring $30 to $100. A clipped planchet, where part of the metal is missing, often sells between $20 and $80. If the coin shows double die doubling, especially on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date, values can climb to $100, $200, even $300. Extremely rare errors like a wrong planchet strike or major mint malfunction can reach $500, $1,000, or more under the right circumstances. This is the point where stories start growing. Someone hears about a rare error selling for hundreds. Someone else exaggerates it into thousands. And eventually, the internet turns it into millions. Before revealing the truth, let this be clear. The 1994 Roosevelt dime is not worthless, and it is absolutely capable of being far more valuable than face value. There are real sales, real collectors, real money involved. But now, the truth behind the million-dollar rumors. There is no verified, documented case of a normal 1994 Roosevelt dime selling for millions of dollars. None. No auction record. No certified sale. No museum-level rarity. The million-dollar stories are fueled by misinformation, misidentified coins, or pure clickbait. While a spectacular, one-of-a-kind mint error could theoretically sell for a massive amount, no such coin has officially surfaced for this date. And yet, this is why people keep looking. Because every legendary error coin ever discovered started as a regular coin in someone's hand. So don't rush to spend it. Look closely. Use a magnifying glass. Study the letters. Study the edges. Because even if this dime won't turn you into a millionaire overnight, the right mistake could still turn a simple 10-cent coin into a surprisingly powerful piece of your collection. Let's move on our second coin in today's series. People always assume the real treasure stories belong to old silver coins from the early 1900s. But then the internet drops a bombshell. This modern dime sold for thousands, maybe even more. Suddenly, eyes turn toward a coin most people spent without thinking twice, the 1989 Roosevelt dime. Some say it's just pocket change. Others swear certain examples are hiding unbelievable value. There are even whispers of coins so rare they spark million-dollar conversations among collectors. Is that possible for a dime from the late 1980s? Don't blink, because before we uncover the truth behind the million-dollar rumors, we're going to explore every real dollar this coin can possibly be worth. The design immediately feels familiar, almost comforting. On the front, Franklin D. Roosevelt stares firmly to the left, his portrait calm yet powerful. The word Liberty curves around the edge, while I in God We Trust sits close to his neck, grounding the coin in American tradition. Beneath Roosevelt's portrait is the date 1989, followed by the letter D, confirming this dime was struck at the Denver Mint. That single letter matters more than many people realize. It separates this coin from its Philadelphia counterpart and plays a quiet role in its collectability. Flip the coin over and the message becomes symbolic rather than political. The torch of liberty rises in the center, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. Together, they represent balance, freedom protected by unity and resilience. Around the rim, United States of America and one dime frame the design, while E pluribus unum reminds us that many pieces come together to form something greater. It's a design that doesn't shout rarity, but history has taught collectors that rarity often whispers. By 1989, the Roosevelt dime had been circulating for more than 4 decades. Silver was long gone, replaced by a copper core wrapped in nickel. That alone causes many people to dismiss this coin immediately. After all, no silver means no melt value. And yes, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes that year. On paper, that makes the 1989 D dime sound extremely common. But coin value isn't built only on mintage numbers, it's built on condition, demand, and mistakes. Let's talk real numbers, slowly and honestly. A circulated 1989 D Roosevelt dime, the kind you'd find in a cash register or coin jar, is typically worth 10 cents to about 20 cents. In uncirculated condition, where there's no wear and the mint luster is intact, values move into the $1 to $2 range. That's already a small win, but things don't stop there. Once grading comes into play, the story changes. A dime graded MS-64 can sell for around $3 to $5. MS-65 examples often reach $6 to $10. Coins graded MS-66 can climb to $12 to $20. And in rare cases, a nearly flawless MS-67 1989 D dime has sold for $30 to $50 or more. That's not hype, that's real collector behavior. High-grade modern coins are harder to find than people think, because most were used before anyone considered saving them. Now let's step into the territory where rumors are born: mint errors. An off-center strike on a 1989 D dime can bring $40 to $150, depending on how visible the misalignment is. A broad strike can sell for $30 to $100. A clipped planchet often lands between $20 and $75. If you discover doubling on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date, especially strong doubling, prices can climb to $100 to $300. More dramatic errors, such as a wrong planchet strike or major mechanical failure at the mint, can push values into the $500 to $2,000 range in rare, well-documented cases. And this is where imagination takes over. Someone hears about a rare error selling for 4 figures. Someone else exaggerates it. Then suddenly, social media starts throwing around words like life-changing and million-dollar dime. Before we confront that claim, it's important to say this clearly. The 1989 D. Roosevelt dime absolutely can be valuable, and some examples are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That part is real. But now, the truth behind the million-dollar rumors. There is no confirmed verified sale of an ordinary 1989 D. Roosevelt dime anywhere near $1 million. None. No auction records. No certified examples. The million-dollar stories come from misunderstandings, extreme speculation, or outright clickbait. While it's fun to imagine, the reality is that only historically unique, one-of-a-kind error coins ever approach that level, and no such 1989 D dime has been officially recognized. Still, here's why collectors keep searching. Because every major discovery starts with someone paying attention. A coin that looks normal at first glance can hide a mistake that changes everything. So if you have a 1989 D dime, don't rush to spend it. Look closely. Examine the letters. Check the edges. Because while this dime won't magically turn into $1 million, the right error could still turn it into one of the most exciting finds in your collection. Let's move on our third coin in today's series. People love talking about million-dollar coins, but every once in a while, a coin appears that makes those rumors feel not completely crazy. The 1983 P. Roosevelt dime is one of those coins. You'll see wild claims online saying, "This dime is worth a fortune, don't spend it," or even, "Collectors are desperate for this year." Some say certain examples are worth thousands, others stretch the story into million-dollar territory. So what's the truth? Is this dime a hidden jackpot, or just another exaggerated legend? Stay with me till the very end, because before we expose the reality behind the million-dollar talk, we're going to break down every dollar this coin can truly be worth. At first glance, the design looks exactly like any other Roosevelt dime, and that's what makes it so dangerous to overlook. On the front, Franklin D. Roosevelt faces left, his portrait sharp and dignified. The word Liberty runs along the rim, with "In God We Trust" sitting close to Roosevelt's neck. Below it all is the date 1983, followed by the letter P, confirming this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Nothing looks unusual. Nothing screams rarity. And yet, this coin carries a story unlike most modern dimes. Flip it over and the symbolism returns. The torch of liberty rises in the center, framed by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. The words United States of America and one dime circle the design, with E pluribus unum tying the message together. It's the same classic design, but in 1983, something happened behind the scenes that changed everything. The early 1980s were chaotic for U.S. coinage. Inflation was high, metal prices were unstable, and the U.S. Mint made a critical decision that still affects collectors today. In 1982 and 1983, the Mint did not issue official mint sets. That single decision created a silent problem. Almost no high-quality 1983 P dimes were saved at the time. Most went straight into circulation, where they were worn down, scratched, and damaged. This makes well-preserved examples shockingly hard to find today. Now let's talk values, slowly and carefully. A circulated 1983 P. Roosevelt dime is usually worth 10 cents to about 20 cents. In uncirculated condition, values jump quickly to $2 to $5, already higher than most modern dimes. But here's where things get interesting. A coin graded MS-64 can sell for around $6 to $10. MS-65 examples often reach $15 to $25. MS-66 coins can climb to $40 to $75. And a true gem graded MS-67 has sold for $200 to $350 or more. That's enormous money for a clad dime, and this is where the serious collector attention begins. Then come the errors, the fuel behind the biggest rumors. An off-center strike can bring $50 to $150. A broad strike can sell for $40 to $120. A clipped planchet often lands between $30 and $100. Strong double-die errors, especially on Liberty or the date, can reach $200 to $600. Extreme errors, such as a wrong planchet strike or major mint malfunction, have sold for $1,000 to $5,000 in rare cases. Now pause for a second. This is exactly where the internet goes wild. People hear about a dime selling for hundreds, then thousands. Then the story grows legs. Before long, the phrase, $1 million 1983 dime, starts floating around. And before revealing the truth, it's important to say this clearly. The 1983 P. Roosevelt dime is one of the most legitimately valuable modern dimes in high grade. That's not hype. That's documented collector demand. But now, the reality behind the $1 million rumors. There is no confirmed sale of a 1983 P. Roosevelt dime for $1 million. None. The highest prices come from exceptional condition and rare errors, not from ordinary examples. The $1 million claims come from exaggeration, misunderstood auction listings, or clickbait. Still, compared to most modern dimes, this coin is genuinely special. And that's why you should never rush to spend it. Check the surfaces. Look for sharp details. Watch for doubling, missing metal, or strange shapes. Because while this dime won't realistically make you a millionaire, it might be the most valuable Roosevelt dime you'll ever pull from pocket change. Let's move on our fourth coin in today's series. When people hear $1 million dime, their mind usually jumps to ancient coins or mysterious mint mistakes. But sometimes, the real suspense hides in a year most people overlook. 1967. A dime from an era of uncertainty, transition, and quiet chaos at the U.S. Mint. Some collectors claim certain 1967 dimes are worth a fortune. Others insist they've seen unbelievable prices. And yes, there are whispers that this coin has sparked million-dollar conversations in collector circles. Is that real, or just another exaggerated legend? Stay with me till the very end, because before we uncover the truth behind those million-dollar rumors, we're going to explore every possible dollar this coin can honestly be worth. The design instantly feels familiar, but there's something different if you look closely. On the front, Franklin D. Roosevelt faces left, his portrait calm but commanding. The word Liberty stretches along the edge, while I in God we trust sits neatly near his neck. Below is the date 1967, and something important is missing. There is no mint mark. Not because it's rare, but because in 1967, the U.S. Mint intentionally removed mint marks from coins. That single decision alone makes this year stand out in Roosevelt dime history. Turn the coin over and the symbolism remains powerful. The torch of liberty stands tall in the center, flanked by the olive branch of peace and the oak branch of strength. Around the edge, United States of America and one dime frame the design, with E pluribus unum completing the message. It looks simple, clean, ordinary. But behind this simplicity lies a story that adds real weight to the coin. The year 1967 sits right in the middle of a massive shift in American coinage. Just 2 years earlier, in 1965, the U.S. government removed silver from dimes to stop people from hoarding them. Inflation was rising, silver prices were climbing, and the mint was under pressure. To discourage collecting, the mint did 3 things: removed silver, removed mint marks, and flooded circulation with coins. The 1967 dime contains no silver, but it carries enormous historical significance as part of this emergency coinage period. Now let's slow down and talk numbers, because this is where curiosity turns into obsession. A circulated 1967 Roosevelt dime is usually worth 10 cents to about 25 cents. In uncirculated condition, values move into the $1 to $3 range. That might sound modest, but condition is everything. A coin graded MS-64 can sell for $3 to $6. MS-65 examples often reach $8 to $15. MS-66 coins can climb to $20 to $40. And in rare cases, near-perfect MS-67 examples have sold for $100 to $250 or more. That's already an impressive jump for a clad dime. Now we step into the world where rumors are born, errors. A 1967 dime with a clear off-center strike can sell for $50 to $200, depending on severity. A broad strike can bring $40 to $120. A clipped planchet often sells between $25 and $100. Strong double die errors, especially on Liberty or the date, can command $150 to $500. Rare mechanical failures or dramatic wrong planchet strikes have reached $1,000 to $3,000 in exceptional cases. And now pause right here, because this is the exact moment where the internet loses its mind. Someone sees a four-figure sale. Someone else exaggerates it. And suddenly, people start claiming the 1967 Roosevelt dime is worth millions. Before we expose the truth, let this be clear. The 1967 dime absolutely can be valuable, especially in high grades or with rare errors. Collectors genuinely hunt for clean, sharp examples from this year. But now, the reality behind the million-dollar rumors. There is no verified record of a standard 1967 Roosevelt dime selling for $1 million. None. No auction proof. No certified examples. The million-dollar stories come from confusion with silver coins, misidentified errors, or pure clickbait. While it's historically important and sometimes surprisingly valuable, most 1967 dimes are not life-changing money. Still, this coin deserves respect. It represents a turning point in American coin history, a year when the rules were rewritten. And because so many were heavily circulated, finding a high-grade or error example today is genuinely exciting. So if you have a 1967 dime, don't dismiss it. Examine it closely. Look for doubling. Check the edges. Because even if it won't make you a millionaire, it carries a story and a value far bigger than its size suggests. Let's move on our fifth coin in today's series. Every generation has its mystery coin, the one people swear is hiding insane value. For many collectors, that coin is the 1977 Roosevelt dime. You'll see bold claims online, "This dime is worth a fortune, don't spend it. Collectors are paying crazy money." Some even stretch the story into million-dollar territory, suggesting a simple dime from the 1970s could rival the most legendary coins in U.S. history. Is that possible? Or is this another case of internet hype running wild? Stay with me till the very end, because before we expose the truth behind the million-dollar rumors, we're going to uncover every realistic dollar this coin can actually be worth. The design is instantly recognizable, yet full of small details collectors love to study. On the front, Franklin D. Roosevelt faces left, his portrait firm and thoughtful. The word Liberty curves cleanly along the rim, while "I in God We Trust" sits close to Roosevelt's neck. Below it all is the date 1977. Depending on where it was struck, this coin may carry a P or D mint mark, or none at all in certain cases, which immediately sends collectors looking closer. Even at this stage, the coin feels ordinary, but ordinary is often where the best surprises begin. Turn the coin over and the symbolism remains timeless. The Torch of Liberty stands tall in the center, framed by the olive branch of peace and the oak branch of strength. Around the rim, United States of America and one dime complete the message, with E pluribus unum tying everything together. It's a design Americans had grown used to by the late 1970s, which is exactly why so many of these coins were spent without hesitation. By 1977, the Roosevelt dime had been firmly established as a modern circulation coin. Silver was long gone, replaced by a copper core with a nickel coating. Millions were produced, and most went straight into circulation. That high mintage is why many people assume the 1977 dime has no chance of being valuable. But collectors know something most people don't: condition and errors matter more than age. Now let's talk real values, step by step. A circulated 1977 Roosevelt dime is typically worth 10 cents to about 20 cents. In uncirculated condition, values rise to around $1 to $2. A coin graded MS-64 can sell for $3 to $5. MS-65 examples often reach $6 to $10. At MS-66, prices can climb to $12 to $25. And in rare cases, near-perfect MS-67 examples have sold for $40 to $100 or more, depending on eye appeal and demand. Now we move into the territory where excitement really builds: mint errors. A noticeable off-center strike can sell for $40 to $150. A broad strike often brings $30 to $100. A clipped planchet can land between $25 and $90. Strong double die errors, especially visible on Liberty or the date, can command $100 to $400. Extremely rare mistakes like a wrong planchet strike or dramatic mechanical failure have reached $1,000 to $3,000 in exceptional cases. And this is exactly where the wild rumors begin. Someone hears about a four-figure error sale. Another person exaggerates it. Soon enough, social media starts claiming the 1977 Roosevelt dime is worth millions. Before revealing the truth, it's important to be clear: the 1977 dime can absolutely be worth far more than face value, especially with strong errors or in top-grade condition. Collectors do pay real money for these coins. But now, the truth behind the million-dollar rumors. There is no verified, documented case of a standard 1977 Roosevelt dime selling for $1 million. None. No auction records. No certified examples. The million-dollar claims come from hype, misunderstanding, or clickbait. While rare errors can be impressive and valuable, this coin simply doesn't reach that level. Still, the 1977 Roosevelt dime deserves attention. It represents a fully modern era of U.S. coinage, when quality varied and errors slipped through more often than people realize. So if you have one, don't ignore it. Inspect it carefully. Look for doubling, missing metal, or unusual shapes. Because even though it won't realistically make you a millionaire, the right error could still turn this overlooked dime into a standout piece of your collection.